Yo, Brendan, welcome to South Florida, bro. How we doing?
Man, I'm excited to be here, bro. Can't lie. These iguanas, lizards, random sightings of parakeets and peacocks and ducks have got me a little off my ease. I ain't gonna lie.
The iguanas down here are pretty crazy. And fact, which you may or may not be aware of, during the winter when it gets cold, and by cold in South Florida, I mean like 40 degrees, 50 degrees.
Yeah.
They actually die. Their entire bodies freeze. They freeze up like mummies. They fall out of trees all over the place. And they're just laying around. But as it gets warmer again, they wake up. So they're like zombie iguanas. Every iguana you see is actually a zombie iguana.
Bro, are you serious?
I'm not kidding you. No.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's already crazy to see all these things crawling around real low like And now you're telling me when it gets just a little bit chilly, they falling out of trees and they just like mummified. And then when it warms up the next day in Florida, then they just wake up and they just keep moving.
Science.
Are they meditating?
It's science. I don't know. I don't know if they wake up more.
Are they visualizing?
You know what? I don't know if iguanas actually achieve nirvana.
Yeah.
But they're definitely they're definitely prolific in what they do.
I'm going to have to YouTube this. I'm gonna need to see an iguana fall out of a tree on YouTube to get the visual that you're casting. I have to see that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest. If you didn't tell me this and I see this in real life, I'm pretty sure I'd be freaked out.
You would definitely be
100%. Because I'm just doing my normal 45-minute walk in the morning. I'm walking, and then bang, iguana. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, some of the things that happen down here in South Florida are a little bit different. I remember this
A little bit
different. A little bit different. A few years ago, I was walking with my cousin. This is years ago, maybe 30 years ago. And we're walking down the street and there's a canal. There's a lot of canals down here. There's a lot of water. We're right next to sea level. And my cousin's like, hey, look, it's a gator. And he dives, jumps into the canal, grabs this gator and pulls it right out of the water. Not a huge gator. It's probably like 2.5, 3 feet, maybe. But I mean, that's a gator right
Your
there.
cousin's a warrior, bro.
He is a warrior.
That's warrior level. My man's seen it and acted quick.
But
crazy.
One of the things I love about my cousin Carter is, he's true to himself, right? He's true to himself and he loves the water. He loves lakes. He loves animals and sea life.
He's his natural habitat.
That's his natural habitat, right? And he owns one of the largest sea grass restoration companies in the country. And so that's what he does all around the coast, all around counties, is he plants seagrass and he sets up the grids, these barges, getting huge business deals. And to kind of bring this into the business, I guess, context here, I was watching Arnold's new Netflix documentary the other day.
I've started to watch. I watched the first two. I didn't see the last one.
And so you've seen this part. I think it's the first one. He says, the key to success, do something that you're good at.
Yeah.
You have talent, do something that you love and enjoy, and something that people pay you for.
Facts.
And that's what, Cousin Carter, props to you, man.
Yo, shout out to Cousin Carter. Haven't met you yet, bro, but I'm super excited to have that opportunity.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You sound like an awesome dude.
Saving the sea life, baby.
Yeah,
Saving the sea life.
Let's do it.
So tell me, so you're from LA.
No, I'm from Boston.
Okay.
I live in LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. So you're in LA, you're here in South Florida, and we originally met online through Guestio.
Yeah. Shout out to Guestio.
Yeah, and Travis Chappell, who's been a guest on the show twice now.
Okay.
I think. Good dude. And so
his episode's not better than this episode, though. You know what I'm saying?
No, because Travis, you got to get your...
Yo, Travis, you're going to get a third episode to top this episode.
That's right. Which you're invited. You're invited. You can come, you can talk to my pro group, all that. But the platform's great because what it does is it connects podcast guests with podcast hosts.
Yeah.
And so I think what I'd like to kind of start talking to you about, Brendan, is what you do, which is exactly that. You connect business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches with podcasts.
Yeah.
So let's just back it up just a little bit and tell me, how did you actually get into that? Where were the breadcrumbs that you said, okay, this is where I need to be?
Well, the fact is, bro, I had to solve the problem for myself first. And the problem for myself was I was like stuck. I couldn't understand how to get traffic. Like, I tried all the things. You know what I mean?
What were you getting traffic to? What was your original?
So my original offer when I got into this space was just basically helping entrepreneurs and business owners build out the digital side of their business.
Okay.
So digital products, courses, masterclasses, things like that. I've successfully done that with myself, so I was helping them do the same thing. But I kept personally running through the wall of, okay, how am I getting new people to know about what I do consistently? And that was always in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could do Facebook ads, YouTube ads. You can go live. You can speak in public. You can speak in virtual. There's a lot of different ways that you can get traffic. But then what I noticed was, as a podcaster, I'm consistently being able to get, in front of more people with my own podcast. And then when I guest, I get in front of multiple people, all these different audiences consistently in podcasting. So it just made sense. And then I ran into, shout out to Interview Connections, right? It's actually a guesting platform out of Providence. So shout out to them, you know what I'm saying? And when I actually connected with them, a light bulb went off, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a student, so I'm always paying attention. Like right now, I'm processing information going on right now in the studio. You know what I'm saying? It might not look like it, but my snaps. Okay? So I noticed that traditionally, most podcast guesting services, right, they do the front end, just like PR. They'll get you on the place. They'll get you on the thing. They'll get you in magazine on the podcast. Mm-hmm. They don't have a mechanism that's going to drive leads. Now, generally what happens is they'll get you on that, and by default, you might get a lead. You might get a call. You might get business.
Right.
But what we want to do is create a framework in which every opportunity that you have to go on a podcast again in front of a different audience, you build a stream that brings you back, brings a business or people that are interested in you back to a way that you serve.
And so how do you do that? Is that by teaching the guest how to actually talk on the show? Because I got to say, it's not uncommon for a guest to come on the After Hours Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And at the end of the show, I'll be like, okay, where's the best place for us to find you? You're like, yeah, well, check out my website, and I'm on LinkedIn, and don't forget TikTok. Guess what? I have the special offering over here on this website. And all of a sudden, people get this like paralysis by analysis. You know what I'm saying? So how are you actually executing on that? How do you actually bring the leads on?
Yeah. So we like to simplify it, right? So let's say, Mark, you're on my podcast, right? You just went crazy. Story, you talked about how you help people, how you provide a solution, what makes you the best in the market or whatever, right? They fall in love with you. 20 to 40 minutes, and you got the listeners, and it was the name by you. Mark's amazing. Love what you got. No, I want to work with this guy, right?
Sure.
Because you got to understand
all the time.
Because you got to understand, podcasting is really the last form of content where a stranger will give you 20 to 40 minutes of their time because they understand this is how podcasting is.
Right.
On Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, you're getting seconds of time.
Right.
If that.
The goal to you've reached peak performance if you can keep someone for 3 seconds.
There you go.
You got 3 seconds?
Yeah. There you go.
I did it.
But on podcast, you already gonna get 20 minutes of my time.
Right.
Even if I don't know, even if I don't know the host, I never heard of the show, and I'm not sure the guest. If the title gets me, I'm gonna listen to it. It literally happened to me last Thursday, which is another topic on the side we'll talk about in a second. What we do is you go on the show, you go crazy, you do your thing. Now when the show's over, you'll say, hey, listen, I might tee you up. Hey, Mark, is there a way, that is there a way that the viewers can connect with you, or is there a way people can work with you, or how would you like to end it off? Whatever. You'll be like, all right, Brandon, listen, I don't want to leave the podcast without, making sure that I help as many people as possible. So I put together a free ebook, a free masterclass, a free training session. Maybe I gave a 75% discount on my thing. And all they need to do is text After Hours to 55555. Right. So we're going to give you a keyword conversion funnel that's going to be connected to your CRM. Or we'll give you a CRM if you don't have that. And then it's going to bring the traffic from the podcast to where you want them to go. So if you want them to go to your email list, text message list, if you want them to go to your masterclass, your workshop, your VSL, book a call, whatever your mechanism is for conversion or nurturing, we'll send them right there. And then we just start stacking the podcast. Guess what? It's evergreen. So if you got 14, if you just went on 14 shows, you got 14 opportunities that are boom, 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 right? That are out there bringing you traffic 24/7. Now, in real life, when you meet someone, let's say you're in the elevator, you got 3 minutes to tell somebody what you do, maybe even less than that. You'll do that, be like, hey, listen, I shot this podcast on this subject. So, hey, let me just send this to you. What's your number? Okay, boom. Let me send this to you. So now they can go spend 20 to 40 minutes they're already being nurtured. You're not even spending.
Yeah.
It's serving multiple purposes. And then you can take all those podcasts and chop those up. Now you got content for day. You got shorts for day. You got reels for day. Right?
I do agree with the sales, and that's what the show is about, is the future of business. I don't care what worked 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. I care about what's working next. And the market has completely changed. It's completely shifted.
100%.
I have a client that is getting about 300,000 downloads a month on his show.
Yeah.
Each individual episode gets about 12K.
Yeah.
Right. So what does that mean? It means that someone is finding an episode and they're going back to that back catalog and listening to all the old previous shows.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so again, that's the evergreen concept there. You look at CNN, you look at the news, you look at Fox, whatever. It's like it's gone. It's like dust in the wind, right? People are not going back saying, "Oh, let me watch that.
Let me watch the news from yesterday."
Yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah, no one cares.
Nobody cares, which I think, I just talked to someone about this today. They said, Mark, is podcasting still really the place to be? Do I still actually want to create content for podcasts? Does it still actually matter? Should I be a guest on a show?
Yeah.
And my answer was like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. But, I got to be honest. I don't know how much longer it's going to be plausible to actually start podcasts, right? And that's what my business is.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I think that it's becoming much more difficult to stand out. And I think it's going to continuously be more difficult. Now, that's not to say you can't have a podcast that serves certain business goals. Like, for example, maybe I want to connect with a local business leader or the mayor of my city or something.
Yeah.
Easier to get a call if you could say, invite them onto your podcast, right?
And don't glaze over that, bro. You and I know that on a very high level, but there's a lot of people that don't understand the power of leveraging a podcast to get literally any relationship that you.
Right.
So don't say that like it's a small feat. It's a very valuable and high level way to network, build, and connect that goes over a lot of heads, man.
Yeah.
I'm literally all of my 7, 8, and now a 9-figure friends have all come because of the power of the podcast.
Sure.
Without that platform, I would not have known these individuals.
So let's break that down. What does that look like for you, Brendan? How are you actually executing on that? How do you say, I want to get to know this millionaire?
Yeah.
Question mark.
Yeah.
Success. Like what's that question?
What camera do I look at? This one, this one, this one? Mark got hella cameras in here, by the way.
You can look, this is,
you can look, check it out. Listen, if you're watching right now, right, you want some mentorship. Maybe you want to talk to, an expert. Maybe you want to talk to a coach. Maybe you want to talk to a high-level entrepreneur or business owner. The fastest way you can do that is create a podcast or use your current podcast. If you don't have a podcast, maybe partner with Mark or someone co-host the podcast, right? What you want to do is get into that person's DM or send them an email or find their contact information that might be on Instagram or even LinkedIn, right? I like voice memos, so I'm going to send a voice memo first, right? Reach out to that person and say, hey, listen, I love what you got going on, right? I love what you got going on. I would love for you to be a guest on my podcast, right? So you can highlight the XYZ, whatever the person does. The person is going to hit you back, right? Now, if they don't hit you back, it's just a matter of time. They may not have seen it. It's all good. What I normally do is then I go to their page. I'll leave a comment. I say, check DM with a microphone emoji and a fireball. That normally works. Y'all can literally copy that, right? They're gonna be in your inbox, and then you literally set up the podcast. You don't need a physical show. It can literally be virtual. Or people are going to say yes to you, then not. Now you arrive and you can literally get free mentorship. You can ask them whatever thing you want because they're going to answer you. People want to talk about what they do. They want to share their value. They want to talk about how they help people, right? And they want more people to know about all the amazing ways they make an impact. And on the backside of that, you got their number, you got the email, you built the relationship, you spent some time. You might do a JV deal. There might be a partnership. You could literally say, hey, 7-figure, 8-figure, 9-figure earner, who else do you think would be a great guest on a podcast? I done spent an hour with you. They're going to give you a name.
Right.
Now you do that on a very high level. Now you got multiple 7-figure friends or in your network, multiple 8-figure friends are in your network. And the only difference between them and you is that they may know some information that you don't know or maybe you haven't executed on. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
When I found that out, my life changed, bro. And it's still changing because of that. You can literally get to whoever you want. If you got a podcast, Barack Obama or Oprah or The Rock will say yes to you in a faster capacity than if you ever tried to hit them up and you didn't have a platform.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's interesting to me how much more respect the podcasting platforms are getting now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's the new media, man. Shout out to Draymond Green.
It is the new media.
Yeah.
It is the new media. You look at, it's funny to me when Tucker got let go from Fox, got fired because I don't know.
Yeah.
What's his name? The Vanderbilt Rockefeller. Well, I don't know, whoever the owner of Fox. I don't even know his name. Like his girlfriend or his wife was like into Tucker or whatever. She like loved Tucker. It's like, you got to go, bro. So Tucker's going and everyone's like, all right, that's the end. Tucker's gone. He's bigger than ever now.
Nah, he's big. He got, listen, PBD and Valuetainment offered him like 100 million.
Yeah.
Right? So if they offered him 100 mil and he didn't take the 100 mil, that means he got more than 100 mil and possibly some equity.
Yeah, with Twitter, with Elon.
Imagine that.
I think, listen, I think being part of a big corporate structure in media, I think that's probably one of the most dangerous places to be right now, personally. Like, sure, you get exposure, you're on TV every night, but I don't know, man, you don't own your personal brand.
No, when they that's why you got to respect people that take the extra step. We're talking about Stephen A. Smith, because he has his own show, outside of ESPN, that he controls. You got Club Shay Shay, right? So he was able to do that.
You control your distribution.
Yeah, exactly.
Bill Maher.
That's what I'm saying. That's what you need to do, man. If I was a coach, consultant, entrepreneur, well, I am an entrepreneur, an athlete, or even a high-level business person, what you're not doing or what you're missing out on is attaching the media department to your business immediately.
Right.
It's going to level up your relationships. It's going to allow you to control your messaging and your distribution. And it's going to put your business in a whole other stratosphere. Plus, you're creating a vertical off of the same business. It's not even like some people be like, yo, I need multiple streams of revenue. I need to go totally different so I can. No, it's like literally if you have your main business, whether it's digital or physical, add a media department to it. It's literally XYZ LLC media now. You know what I'm saying? You could build out another LLC on it too, which gives you another line of business credit, which is the whole nother subject. But now you have the media component to your business, which can bring in all sorts of revenue, but at the very least, allow you to control your distribution on a higher level and then market your business on a higher level. Your main business can be a sponsor of the media. They have to run into your commercials to hear the content that you're running.
Yeah.
Maybe you have your commercial inserts, your live reads, they're talking about your business, your product, your service. It goes pretty crazy. And you can control that if you just have that. Or maybe your family business, right? Maybe your son or daughter, niece or nephew are the ones that are really into the content. Give them that project. They can manage that. You may not be, the person that's into the whole thing. But maybe, someone else in your team or in your family, they can control that aspect, right? You give them a project, and now you can even put them on the payroll. They can get paid through the media side of the business.
Which you get tax benefits from.
Which is a good tax benefit.
But I think the thing that people maybe have misconstrued or don't understand yet is that the cost of actually setting up a podcast and that infrastructure it's I'm not going to say it's nothing, but it's not, I need TV distribution, I need radio distribution, you don't need any of that.
Nah.
The internet has changed everything. It's kind of amazing to me that it's taken people so long to kind of understand that.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, things that's taken people too long to get a hold of is AI. We'll definitely talk about AI because I think that completely changed my business, changed the game a bit. I want to talk a little bit about numbers, money in podcasting as well. Listen, when I work, most clients that I work with, they say, hey, Mark, I said, what are your goals? Like, I want to land sponsors. I want to get a lot of money from sponsors. My experience is very hard to make lots of money from sponsors.
Yeah.
Like,
you mean they want that for their podcast?
Yeah. I'm going to launch a podcast. I want to get a bunch of listeners like Rogan. I want Athletic Greens to pay me $100,000 for a contract or something.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it can't happen, but I think that the amount of podcasters that actually making serious bank like that is pretty low.
Yeah, that's the wrong way to look at it, man. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm going to look back at this camera. If you're a podcaster or aspiring podcaster, this is how you don't make money. Sponsorships, brand deals, right? And thinking that you need a large audience to make money for YouTube. If that's where your mindset is, and even Bert, that's where your mindset is, that's literally not how you make money with podcasts. That's not to say you can't make money that way. But that's not the easiest way. That might be the 4th, 5th, 6th, or even 7th way to make.
Or it's maybe years out.
Yeah, further down the line.
Unless you're like a celebrity, a dad.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you want to focus on. If I was starting my podcast right now, I can give y'all a couple things. But the first thing I would focus on would be affiliates. I would land some, I like to call them sexy romantic affiliate partners. You know what I'm saying? Like these are affiliate partners that might have a nice little payout. It might give you $100 every time you don't have to deliver nothing. You don't have to sell nothing. You don't got to, there's no fulfillment. So I would find an affiliate that's giving me like $100, maybe $150, maybe $75. I would find an affiliate partner that may have a recurring payout. So that means if you make a purchase, we get $40, $50 every single month as long as the customer keeps that product. Another thing is I would find an affiliate that has a high ticket offer. Like you have a high ticket affiliate, available. So I would partner with someone like Mark, and I would market Mark's products on my podcast and just leverage my episodes, which means every time somebody's watching episode 1 or all 10, if I mention Mark's products, those 10 episodes, that means I got those 10 episodes working, sell Mark's products. I didn't do anything. Let's say I get a sale this week, next week, the week after, Mark got a pretty handsome payout. So, I might make a nice little check. I don't really have to do nothing. I just had to mention it in my podcast. So I would do that first.
I have episodes, I have videos that I recorded 3 years ago that still pay me out.
That's what I'm saying.
Every month.
Yeah.
That being said, I haven't I'm not quitting my day job off that, but it's a nice buffer. It's giving me cash flow every month, which to me as an entrepreneur, that's what I'm interested in. I want as many cash flow, passive cash flow opportunities as possible. I don't think anything is better.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say nothing is better. Stock market.
Just think about it. Like maybe there's 1 bill or 2 bills in your house you want to replace. Maybe you want to replace the car note and the insurance. Whatever it is, make that your target. And then, like I said, there's so many different ways you can monetize a podcast. You can even like I said, we talked about affiliates. We could talk about digital products. We could talk about pod closing, which is something else, another strategy I use. We could talk about the VIP packages, reverse closing. There's a lot of different things we can talk about. But what I'm saying is, if you put your eye on that goal, you can find a little to almost, I don't want to say little, no. A small amount of transactions can amount to a large amount of your expenses that you can just leverage the platform.
Well, I definitely agree with that. I actually talked one of the ways that I've made the most money in podcasting is through guesting. Guest co-sponsoring episodes, sponsoring episodes that they come on. I've been highly successful with that. And I know that's a big part of what you do is that money that goes on behind the scenes. It's PR.
Yeah.
I talked at Podfest about this and I still get messages saying, holy crap, Mark, it worked.
Yeah, facts.
Holy crap, I got paid $500 for a guest to come on my show.
100%. Yeah.
And, I by the way, for all you people out there and saying, Mark, you shouldn't be charging guests to come on your show and this and that, shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah.
I've worked my ass off, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours to build my platform, to build my skill, to build the audience. And you just want to hop on for free and just get on my back? I'm like, forget you. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, are we talking about? We're not even talking about them, Mark. If you're listening to this and you don't got that mindset, you can get off the podcast right now. I'm going to just be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Because like Mark said, he's put time, effort. He had a vision. He fulfilled the vision. Still fulfilling the vision.
All the equipment?
Him getting paid is the minimum. You know what I'm saying? That's the minimum value that needs to be. And I feel like your prices are too low anyway. Personally.
We could talk about that. I feel like your prices are too high. But
you know what I'm saying?
Again, it comes down to the value. And that's something I think about as well, right?
My prices ain't high enough.
And that's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think, and we were talking about this previously, typically for a guest to come on the show, I would charge $500.
Yeah.
It kind of waxes and wanes.
But that's your virtual though, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's for virtual, that's for remote. Yeah.
Cool. So if I came on a show in person, we just talked about some of the packages off air. I think at the minimum, you should be at 1,000. So I've been here. Well, I was here maybe a month ago. I've gotten 4 clients guested on podcasts that were probably around the size of yours, and I got them $1,000 to $1,500.
Sure.
Yeah. So you're definitely there.
You know what's also interesting is the packages that you put together.
Yeah.
It's not.
But not all of them have those packages.
Okay.
I'm not setting their package.
The host package.
Yeah, I'm not saying the host package. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a big mistake that a host would say too. It's like, oh yeah, come on my show. It's $1,000. And the person's like, okay, how many downloads do you get?
Yeah.
Well, if you just sell the downloads, you're probably going to lose that fight every time. It's the downloads, it's the email list, it's the website, it's the YouTube, it's the clip.
But that comes with education.
Yeah.
A lot of it's very nuanced, right? Because you and I know this. Some guests are also educated because they understand what it is. But then some guests aren't, right? So they don't know that you may have a 10,000 email list, 5,000 email list, 20,000 email list,
right?
Or text message community, because they can't see that. They can see how many views you get on YouTube, which doesn't define the full value scope of the podcast,
right? Nor
the fact that if they say something on your platform that goes viral, plus the relationships that you have in your distribution, they could take that clip that came from your podcast and then repost that on another platform to get another round of viewership. They could duplicate that multiple times. Me going on your show is already edifying me because it's like, okay, who's the specialist that's on this show? What's this show about? Okay, cool. I understand it's after hours on the podcast. That's a platform. I could take the clip that you produced and you put on your social media platform. So it's coming from you. I could take that clip that's coming from you. It's kind of like if I was on ESPN or Fox, and I'm taking a clip that's of me on ESPN and Fox. Then I'm taking that and I'm redistributing that on the secondary shout-out page on Instagram or TikTok. And these are pages that already have a built-in 6-figure, 7-figure audience, which is seeing me edified on your platform. And now I'm on your platform on another platform that gives me a second layer of edification.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that power, especially if that clip that we did is already kind of moving. Then boom, I reshare it to a bunch of other platforms and get another 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's powerful, bro.
And so this is something I kind of, we're talking about all the different ways to make money with podcasting. I'm in podcasting, been podcasting for a while.
Yeah.
So this is one of the things that I've run into recently. And I was talking to Patrick Bet-David about this at his mastermind. And like, there's too many podcasters out there that are just smiling and nodding. In fact, we've probably done too much smiling and nodding at this point.
I mean,
right?
smiling and nodding is good, bro. It keeps the stress levels down. What you mean, bro?
It does. It's boring, right? Like when people, I'm actively, when I'm in interviews now, I'm actively trying to find holes.
So ask me some, fill the holes, fill the gap.
Oh, we're gonna get.
Let's get it. Let's get spicy.
We're gonna get there, right? But so this is kind of one of the dilemmas that I personally have, right? Like if I'm gonna bring a guest on and I'm gonna try to not necessarily argue and be a jerk, right? But say like, I don't agree with you there. I kind of have this conflict of, well, they kind of paid me to be on here, and I don't know that I want to be arguing. But so one of the things I do on the front end now is I say, listen. This is the criteria to join the show, right? Which you can sign up for at markspontmedia.com. You want to come on the show, markspontmedia.com, you can check that out. But I actively say, listen, I'm not going to agree with you. I'm probably going to try to argue with you at some point.
I mean,
Don't take it personally.
You didn't give me that disclaimer, sir.
Well, get ready. You just got you just got it. But, and our relationship is a little different than others. But that's something I do. And again, I kind of feel like, if I'm going to be charging someone $1,500, $2,000 to come on the show, I don't necessarily know that I want to be debating them. So anyway, that's something I struggle with.
I think you should debate them, bro, because at the end of the day, something that they don't know, that's probably the most highly charged content that they're going to receive. Right. It's probably going to perform. So I think, giving them the disclaimer so it's not like you're catching them off guard is great. They'll know what you're doing in real time. You can say, hey, I'm gonna turn you up a little bit, on this podcast. I feel like that's gonna perform best because, content that's a little, charged or debatable or a little, is content that does well. You know what I'm saying?
And I think, we talked about the death of big corporate media. I think that's the reason that big corporate media is failing.
Because it's still. It's too controlled.
It's still like you watch MSNBC, they're all agreeing on the same stuff. Yeah. Same thing with Fox. They're all saying, oh yeah, I agree with that. You watch The View, they're all just agreeing.
Yeah, I don't watch none of that stuff.
Give me the damn conflict.
What you want to know, bro? Let's go. Turn it up. Let's go.
Just last week, Joe Rogan brought on RFK Jr. and they're talking about like vaccines and stuff like that. You're like, pretty interesting conversation. I don't know if you listened to that.
I didn't see that one.
Listen, I'm not an expert in all that, but I found that he had some interesting thoughts.
Yeah.
And then mainstream's like, oh no, we can't talk to RFK Jr. Like this guy's running for president. by poll data, more likable than Biden or Trump, and you're not even going to give him 5 minutes on your show. Like, what the hell are y'all doing?
It's because they don't control it, bro.
And that's it.
Yeah, it's controlled by a higher power. If the higher power wants to get a certain message out, want to get people thinking a certain way, if they control all of the outlets for media, they're going to put out what they want to put up. That's why it's important for people like you.
Well, and I think that's why independent media,
100%.
I think that's why it's going to win.
Yeah.
Because people are hungry for it.
Now, the only problem is with that is if you're independent, which is probably the next level, you're going to have to just imagine if and I assume PBD has this, but I don't know because I'm not in it. But what would happen if YouTube just banned all valuetainment shit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the next level is making sure that you're going to have to create a network because YouTube is still controlled as well. They're going to put out what they want to put out.
Very controlled.
That's what I'm saying.
They actually just now, correct me if I'm wrong, they just now allowed people to say that COVID-19 came from Wuhan, from the Wuhan lab. Just now, three years later.
That's what I'm saying. So the next level is building out your network of media so you can actually fully control your distro and not get shut down at all. You know what I'm saying? That's the next level. Because yes, you might not get the YouTube money that's going to come from ads, but you're still controlling it. So it's a manner in which you can't get shut down. So maybe, and this is even something that I can, I'm telling myself in real time is post everything on YouTube, but create your own network. So now you can post stuff on your network. Maybe your network have a slower churn, slower growth. So you're still going to get rewarded for YouTube. But if that ever gets shut down, you have a fail-safe where you can send people here.
Well, I think you have to. I mean, you have all the infrastructure. Great, probably the best.
It's the only, bro. Yeah,
I don't think it's the only. I honestly think Rumble is way underrated right now.
Yeah, Rumble's fire, but Rumble does long form too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I got to check it out.
It's basically YouTube, but the user experience isn't as good. Right now, I think it's too politically charged because it's all the conservatives are like, well, I can't say this on YouTube. I'm going to go to Rumble.
Yeah.
But Russell Brand went there. Russell Brand, he's a pretty big deal. And more speakers are going there.
So I probably need to go there too.
I've already, been there, but I'm not getting like tons of views.
Yeah, you just got to be omnipresent.
Got to be omnipresent. And then to your point, if something pops or, you never know what's going to happen.
And if that's the next social media up in terms, then you need to be on there because, you might get the most organic reach on that platform. When TikTok came out, they were very, encouraging and enabling people to grow a little faster. Because they wanted people to use a platform. So I assume Rumble's probably the same right now. You probably get a little bit more love on Rumble with your content than on Instagram. I mean, you ain't get nothing on Instagram right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, unless you're like, you got the super calculated content with the super calculated caption and it's the right content. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be tactful or spend money on Instagram to really get some like traction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you got to just do something outrageous. Like I got to see iguana. I got to jump on the ground, grab the iguana, argue with it, and then throw it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But catch it safe.
Well, so here's the other problem.
I don't want Peter coming at me.
Here's the other problem with the short form stuff though. Is AI has completely changed the game.
Yeah.
It's so easy to make short form content at scale. And that's what my agency does. That's what my team does.
Yeah. There's a lot of companies like that out here too right now.
For sure. And listen, to do it well is not easy.
Yeah.
But the tech is going to get better and better and better. I get hit up all the time. People, please stop hitting me up to make short form videos. I don't care.
I thought you wanted that business.
No, well, they want to make the short form videos for me, like all the time.
Oh yeah, no, they hitting you up for that for sure. That's in my inbox too.
Legit, at least a half dozen every day I get. But regardless of that fact, I think about what the future of social media looks like.
Yeah.
When businesses, people at scale are able to create these short form clips, and then these social media platforms just get completely inundated with short form clips. It's like people are going to stop caring. Elon said this the other day about the New York Times on Twitter. He said, New York Times is basically the equivalent of Twitter diarrhea.
Yeah.
Because they're just posting 200 times a day on Twitter, So I sometimes think about this, like, what's the right balance?
Well, I don't know. That's a really great thought, right? But I don't know if that is going to actually be, in my opinion, I don't know if it's going to be an issue because most people don't execute, bro. So it's going to be a certain level of people. I mean, some people don't even post every day still.
Right.
So I think it's going to be a certain level of people like the Grant Cardones, like the Gary V's. You know what I'm saying? Like they posting 2-digit times a day, right? You know, I'm posting posting like 3 or 4 times a day on every platform. But most people aren't going to do that, right? And the average consumer is someone that the average person is someone that consumes content. So they're just going to be consuming content at a larger scale, but they may spend more, to your point, they may just spend more time on the pages or on the, spending more time on the influencers or people that they want to spend time with versus going to a bunch of other.
The smaller stuff.
Yeah. So I think it might be like a little combination of both, but I don't really see that it being too much of a issue because I think a lot of people just aren't going to execute. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. A lot of people are not going to execute. But I think, I do think there's still time.
Mark, you're wrong.
I think there's still time. But I think that, in a year or two, I don't know if it's going to be just like we see with Instagram, super hard to actually reach new people on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm working with a couple agencies. We're doing some things which it's actually been really cool. I've been getting tons of guest requests to be on guest, I think, because of Instagram specifically and some of the initiatives I'm putting out there. But I think that there is still time, but it's I don't know how long that time is gonna last.
Yeah.
And you see this time and time again in history. There's a golden moment. Get while the getting's good, but you got to be disruptive. I think
100%.
Yeah,
I agree.
You got to be disruptive. Speaking of disruptive, AI, man, completely changed everything. So how are you specifically using AI in your business today?
Oh man, so many different ways. I'm writing a new book, so I'm using AI to write the whole thing. So I'm using an app called Otter. Speaking of the whole thing.
Yep.
It breaks it down into transcript, send that over.
Yeah, I used Otter.
Yeah, format it.
I liked Otter for transcripts, but the Otter.ai, I tried using it, but I just found there were too many errors in it.
Well, that's cool, bro. I mean, there's an AI to fix that too.
That's true. I tried Fireflies. I've been using a program called...
I use Fireflies for my Zoom meetings and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I picked up Avoma recently for Zoom meetings. That's probably my favorite that I've used. It does some cool things. Great example though. AI to write transcripts, take transcripts. Which again, part of the value of podcasting, right? Because you record your podcast, you upload it, all of a sudden you've got a ton of content that can be easily transcribed and written.
100%. So, I mean, I use it for digital product creation. I use it for SOP creation. I use it for, to recap meetings for my team. I use it for Zoom recaps and distribution to people in my program.
Wait, hold on. Back it up. SOP creation, standard operating procedure creation.
Yeah.
Break that down. Can you give me an example?
Of a SOP?
Specifically, how are you using AI to develop your standard operating procedure?
So there's an AI called Tango. There's a couple of them. I think the other one, there's one called Waybook as well. But there's a AI software, AI tool called Tango. It will literally help you create standard operating procedures. So all you entrepreneurs right now that are doing the thing, and you find yourself always having to do the thing. I used to be one of those entrepreneurs doing the thing. You can now use this software to help you create standard operating procedures that it might be a 4-step or 6-step, an 8-step, might be a 20-step, that you can now have the software create the framework for you and then give that to Mark, hire Mark, who might be a VA in the Philippines or Russia or wherever. Pay Mark, $6, $12 an hour, whatever the rate is, $500 a month, whatever, right? Now, Mark can do that task and he can duplicate it because you created an SOP using the Tango. And if you want to take it a step further, you can create a aid, which could be a Loom video along with that, package them together, you can hire that person, give them, let's say, what I like to do is if I'm going to do a hire, I like to ask for a selfie. I want to see the confidence. I want to see the energy. I want to see the communication. I want to see if they're going to be on time. I'm going to see if they actually read and do what I ask. Once they do that, I'm like, okay, I want to rock with this person. I give them a little trial. So they have all the training material because the AI allowed me to do that, and I was able to do that fast. They got the training material. They're going to go through that. They should be able to pick up exactly how I want the process to be done. They got the information. Now they got the training video. Have at it. And I've been able to duplicate myself like that. And all entrepreneurs, you can do this. And I'm going to tell you right now, 2 books right now that I would recommend all entrepreneurs right now that feel trapped in your business, that feel stuck in your business, that feel like you created a job. I was that entrepreneur as well. Free yourself up by hiring as soon as possible. Make a list of tasks that are below your pay grade or that slow up your production for the day or a week, and relieve yourself from that task. Hire a VA. You may not think you can afford that, right? Hire a VA for a week or two, or for 10 hours out of $4, $6, $12 an hour, whatever you can afford, or just put a package together and say, hey, I got $100. What can I get for $100, right? Figure out what you can get from them for $100 in terms of hours, and then offload that 1 or 2 tasks, free yourself up, then allow yourself to spend time where you should be spending time so you make more money, grow the business. If you're not getting any sales, you shouldn't be doing any posts, because that's not that may not be a task that's going to lead to a sale. It might be if there's a call to action associated with it, but it may not be if you're just worrying about posting because you feel like you got to post. Some people post, right? But 2 books that I would recommend to start getting your mind around this. Well, I could probably give you 3. One is EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System, and Traction. Both of those are by Gino Wickman. And then the other one I would recommend is probably PBD's your next 5 moves.
5 moves.
Yeah, I would recommend that too, because he talks about that. And if I had to throw a bonus in there, I would probably do Robert Kiyosaki's the cash flow quadrant.
Yeah, well, Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Workweek.
Boom. That's 5 books. But I would grab those right now on Audible. You know what I'm saying? Or Blank. I think Blank there's like 8-minute summaries. Or even go to YouTube and ask for a summary for an XYZ book if you're not someone that's gonna actually be disciplined and read the whole thing. But you need to get this information into your subconscious, into your the operating system that is your subconscious, so you can start thinking like this. A lot of us get trapped in our businesses.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a freelancer. You want to be a business owner. Here's the problem, though, that I have with that. And again, I think it depends where you're at in your business. Where's your revenue? What's your cash flow look like? Because people are expensive.
People are not expensive, Mark.
I don't know about that, man. People are 60% of my expense, if not of my expenses, if not more. But I run an agency, so there's a lot of production that goes on behind the scenes, but people are expensive, man.
I mean, you could go to, and this is why I challenge,
Okay. You
could go to, there's a group on Facebook. I don't remember it completely. I use them all the time. It's like Savvy VAs or something. You can go to a Facebook group that has VAs in it. You can go to Fiverr. Fiverr is all types of price. You go to Fiverr. You can go to Upwork. You can go to Online Jobs BH. Whatever your budget is, there's someone that might be a starter, intermediate. You might be someone that has a lot of experience. Whatever your price point is, it might be $20. You might need somebody to post for you. It might be $20. You might need somebody to collect some money for you, collections. It might be $20. You might need somebody to, be an admin or something. There is someone in that category, if you just search or make the request, that may be able to give you an hour for $20 or do 2 tasks for $20.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, and that could free you up for that. You can use that hour to then bring some revenue in, and now you have the money that you may not have gotten that day or that week to now maybe hire that person longer or maybe try something else. I'm not saying it's going to be a 1-for-1. You're not going to hit the bullseye. You might hire somebody that might be trash. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's going to work.
Well, no. I think here's the trap I think that you can run into is spending too much without having the infrastructure to actually generate the revenue, right? Again, it depends, I think, where the person's at in their business, right? Yeah. But, I think that it's pretty easy to either undervalue your time, right? Or overvalue your time, right? And what I mean by that is you might say, oh, I landed a deal. We'll say it's $5,000 for the deal, right? Yeah. But it took you 6 weeks to get to that sale, right? Okay. So how many hours went into that?
Yeah. I'll do that.
The reason I say that is because when I read the 4-Hour Workweek, I was hyped. I was like, all right, I'm going to go hire some people. And I did. And it cost me tens of thousands of dollars just trying to figure things out.
Were you hiring W-2 employees?
No, 1099 WEs. I went through onlinejobs.pa.
Okay, yeah.
However, part of the reason I was spending so much on that is because I was working a day job, making six figures. And I was like, I just don't have time to be in two places at once. So I was having to outsource a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. I think it might be, and not to cut you off, because I love where you're going with this, but I think it might be, like for me, what worked for me is giving them a project. So, hey, listen, $500 is what I have. 30 days, I need you to work 20 hours a week, part-time, which may equate to 2 hours a day, you know what I'm saying, or 4 hours a day, whatever, right? Whatever that is. I need X, Y, Z done. And then I need this at the end of the day. I need this at the end of the week. Can you do this for this amount? Right? If I don't have that 500, it might be 250. If I don't have that 250, it might be 100. And then you can set up your pay structure so that it might be palatable for your revenue. Maybe instead of paying them one time 500, you pay them, let's say 125 a week or something. So now, okay, I can pay this 125 a week. They can keep going. I'd have freed myself up for 20 hours. I can spend this time maybe learning how I can close a deal. Maybe you suck at closing.
Right.
Now I can spend time, going down the Grant Cardone, rabbit hole. I can go down, what's it called? Cole Gordon. I could go down to Mike Barron. You know what I'm saying? I could find a high-level closer that I could learn from, right? And spend that time on YouTube, or spend that time with some of their free products, some of their low-ticket products. I have 20 hours now. I could learn that, and then I could attempt to close in real time.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to worry about what I was doing over here. That has to get done, but not making me no money.
Yeah. Well, you got to make sure you're actually spending the 20 hours doing something productive.
Well, that's
too.
a whole nother thing. Now we're talking about discipline.
That's
different.
And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but no, I agree. And I definitely agree on the project base, because I tried doing time at first. It's very...
You got to be project-based.
It's got to be project-based. Mayor-based, project-based. And I got to say, bringing it back to the AI concept, this is one of the things that I've been really impressed with AI. It's able to bring mediocre or below average creators and producers and VAs and make them excellent. Historically, it's been really hard to find people that are good at writing. It's just tough. It's been a really tough thing to outsource. But now someone can use ChatGPT, Swell, or all these different platforms. They could go from being a below average writer to being like an excellent writer immediately. And that's why I think the SOP thing is interesting.
It's a must, bro. It's a must, man. The reason why I'm saying that is I've had a clothing company for 10 years. I had a real estate, my own real estate brand for like 8. I've been an entrepreneur. I even ran a basketball. I had my own basketball league. I was commissioner. I was a manager. I was a player. You know what I'm saying? I was the media too. I did everything. That was like my first business. All I'm saying is, without proper mentorship or knowledge or the right information, I have trapped myself in the business.
Right. Yeah.
That's the easiest thing, and probably the most common thing for most entrepreneurs to do. It's very hard for you to scale and actually have time for your family, your kids, maybe time doing things that you want to do outside of, your entrepreneurship journey or product, service, business, etc. If you don't free yourself up, like when I got a EA, executive assistant, when I got somebody to post my content, when I got somebody to edit my content, when I hired booking agencies for Pod Agency, I'm in the process of bringing on I integrated a run pod agency. I'm about to hire a video editor. Hey, if you're a video editor, you want to come around with a cool entrepreneur doing some cool stuff, holler at your boy.
Bro, we got to talk after this.
You know what I'm saying?
I do all those. I solve all those problems for you.
So what I'm saying is, once I've started doing these things, I'm free to be on the amazing After Hours Entrepreneur podcast and not worry about, like I told you, literally I sat down, I said, yo, Mark, I just closed the deal, right? I just got a client. I didn't close the deal. The deal got closed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was a 12, I think that deal was like $12,500, like a $12,500 deal. If I had to make that call, I couldn't necessarily be, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's like, I'm not saying everyone needs to rush out and hire people.
So how did you close the deal then? You had a team member that...
Yeah, closers. Yeah, get some closers, bro. Yeah, there's people out here. What has happened in the last 4 or 5 years with the emergence of online entrepreneurs selling information products or high-ticket products or premium offers, premium value offers, shout out to Myron Golden, it has created a whole new industry of remote closers. And these are individuals that basically do not do any fulfillment. They did not did and they don't do the thing. All they do is close the deal. Right. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 people that are consistently communicating on your behalf about your product market fit and how you can provide a solution, and they're closing deals for you, you don't no longer have to close those deals. Now, there is a pain. You're going to have to train them, or they're going to have to be trained, or you're going to have to get them, keep them, some of them motivated. Some of them may be straight off the couch. But what I'm saying is, if you're someone that's looking for an opportunity, you got hustle, you got grind, you got commitment, you want to change your family's dynamic, remote closing is definitely something that you do that can literally allow you to get to 10K a month, faster. If you've never been at 6 figures, if you want to go to 6 figures, maybe if you want to do a 5-figure month, a multi-5-figure month, remote closing can do that for you, because let's say Mark has a high-ticket product that might be $15,000. I might make on the low end 10%, $1,500 every time I close one of Mark's deals. Mark's getting now $13,500. I'm getting $1,500, right? I don't got to fulfill nothing. I can move on to the next call, close the next deal. I can close 3, 4, 5 deals in a day. So as long as Mark's giving me deal flow.
So I really like the concept of having the sales team, right? Which way you're talking about. But I do have a problem with the high ticket closer culture.
Yeah.
I feel like, there's these people that are so focused on closing the highest ticket sale. I want to get as much money from this person as possible. And they're not really focused on the back end. They're not really focused on what happens on the back end. And I feel like it's kind of like what we saw with the NFT craze, right? Which, by the way, I'm a believer in NFTs. I think NFTs
I am too.
solve a lot of problems.
I am too.
But what happened with the NFTs is everyone's like, how do I sell my NFT for as much money as possible and then cash out?
That's because they don't really understand the NFT. They're just looking for something quick. The value of NFT to me is the community and the networking. The crypto portion of it is what's going to fluctuate.
Well, it's a smart contract, dude, right? Like, how many communities are out there? Like, I don't need an NFT for community. I want the NFT for the smart contract.
But that's why I feel like you're missing out. Because if you're a Bored Ape yacht holder, right? There's a lot of people in the Bored Ape yacht community that have used that IP to create other businesses or create other opportunities.
Sure. Right? I mean, that's like one out of...
So I'll give you an example. So my boy, right, him and his team, I think it was him and like 2 other people, they created the restaurant Bored and Hungry, which is in Long Beach, was the first one. And then they have one, I think, it's opening up in Korea or Hong Kong or whatever, overseas. But because they bought that IP, they've been able to use that IP. So now literally everyone in that Bored Ape yacht community, they've been able to give them a special perk or privilege because they're already in that community.
Yep.
Now that will allow those people that are in that community. It's like if you and I was in the community, anything you're doing, bro, I'm going to support for the most part. Like we both got on the after hours hat. We both got on the after hours shirt.
I wish I had. I only have an extra small shirt. So.
Well, I'm just saying. But community is valuable because the relationships and the networks was the most important thing. The NFT is the value of that crypto is going to always fluctuate regardless. But our friendship, our relationship, our relatability, the fact that it's limited and no one else can buy another Bored Ape Yacht Club at the moment is super valuable.
And I agree with that. Bored Ape Yacht Club, valuable. V-Friends, I think is valuable.
I mean, I'm just saying they're all valuable.
I think there's a bunch that are bullcrap, right?
I mean, they are. I would agree, but that's if they're not built out with community first.
Sure.
That's the most powerful thing. If I could, like, okay, we talked about V-Friends. If I connect with the community on V-Friends, anything that you do, you can basically put that information out, and more than likely, people will support that or want to be a part of it because you're a V-Friend holder. Mark, if I call you, we're not even in the community, but if I called you, I said, hey, I'm doing something, you pulling up. If you can, you're available, you can pull up.
You're a V-Friend. There's
no, I'm just talking
40,000 V-Friends.
I'm talking about just our relationship. Let's say, okay, check this out. You come to LA, you hit me up, Brennan, boom, I'm doing this in LA. I'm going to pull up because of our friendship, because of our relationship.
Sure.
So
yeah,
we're basically in the community, but not really in the community. We was in a guest deal community, it brought us here. We're in a PVD community, it brought us.
Right.
So if you send a message out to everyone that was on the on that PBD call because you were on that call. It was 100-something people on that call. You was on that call. More than likely, those 100 people on that call are going to rock with you because you were in that 9 a.m. mastermind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a podcaster. You're a podcaster. There's a whole nuance to it. You're going to support you. I'm pulling up.
And you know, you don't need to sell me on the value of community.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the big value. Like, if I lose a big client, like, crap, that sucks. You know, having a bunch of people in, you know, in the after hours entrepreneur mastermind is valuable.
Yeah.
There's one person that's okay, cool. That's you're kind of crowdsourcing, crowdfunding. My point here is, you know, at least on the NFTs, is that you don't really necessarily need the NFT to galvanize that community, right? It could be the website, it could be the weekly Zoom calls or whatever it is. Because I kind of feel like what happened with that whole NFT community, the whole NFT thing, the whole dip, the bear market. I was at NFT Miami just a couple months ago. That place was dead.
Was it?
It was dead. Several of the big speakers called out. I mean, Timbaland was still there. Wyclef was there. So that was pretty cool. But they were like, wow, membership is down like 10% of it.
That's because those are wave riders, bro.
Yes, exactly. But I just wonder if maybe this high ticket closer thing is good. Like if enough people get burned. I was talking to someone the other day who had spent $50,000 on a coach and was like, they didn't really have much to show for it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, so this is also a thing with the high ticket, right? Premium value offers and stuff like that. You're not going to these people to solve your problem. You have to do the work. Whether I buy something if I buy, okay, I'm going to use Mark as an example. Let's say you might have this, I don't know. Let's say Mark got an ebook that's $27. Right?
Okay.
And you got a high ticket product that's $20,000. What's consistent is I have to buy this book. If I want a result, I have to spend the time to read this book. The book ain't going to read it for me.
No.
Okay, so that means I have to put the time into reading it and then execute what's in the book if I want a result for the $27 one. I might not care if I don't read it and don't get nothing for it because it was only $27.
Sure.
Now, if I spend $20,000 or $27,000 on Mark's high ticket joint, I still got to do the joint. I still got to do the work. If I decide to not come to the Zoom calls, not watch the modules, not execute the models, don't do the workbook, don't take no accountability, or be kind of like laissez-faire inside of the community or the program, I'm not going to get the result. And
you got to do the work. The problem is, I think that there are some people that are just freaking good at closing. Jordan Belfort.
Okay.
That guy could close, right?
Yeah.
But he was selling people stuff that they couldn't execute on, right? Anyway, there's some really good closers out there. And what people do, what happens is people are so attracted. Wow, that person is such a good closer. If I just surround myself with them, but they don't have that talent, right? Bringing it back to the beginning, you need to have the talent. You need to enjoy it, and you need to be able to make money with it. But some people I don't think they have the actual talent to do what that person's doing, right?
Well, yeah.
I could pay Aaron Rodgers millions and millions of dollars. I ain't throwing for the Green Bay Packers.
You're not throwing for the Green Bay Packers, but if he's teaching you a framework, you can adopt that framework and still get a result. Now the level of result is going to come with your effort and practice. You're going to get better. Bro, I can't play golf. I literally just learned how to swing the club. But if I spent an hour every day learning for someone that can teach me that, if I paid him $27,000, now, hey, I got
better. Yeah.
I'm going to get better.
Right.
But I still have to do the thing, right? I have to do the thing. I have to work the thing. I got to believe that, like I got to believe that it's me. I'm a good golfer first. I got to believe that I can do it, right? Then I have to have the thing that's going to allow me to do it, right? I mean, I got to do the thing that's going to allow me to do it, right? And then I'll have the result.
Yeah, but if Tiger comes to you and he says, Brendan, I'm going to work on your swing. You're going to be awesome. Within 6 months, you're going to be hitting holes in ones. All your friends, the ladies at the clubhouse are going to be fawning over you.
Shout out to the ladies at the clubhouse.
Shout out to my wife. But what's gonna happen is he's setting kind of like a false precedent, an unattainable expectation. Basically, the person's overpromising and going to underdeliver on that, right? Well, because you're not going to be Tiger Woods,
but
right?
I'm not there to be Tiger Woods, and I feel like
are you? And that's what
I want to learn from the greatest. If I could learn from a NBA player that's like a rookie that I may not know about, but he just got to the league. He's good. He just got to the league. Or I could learn from LeBron James, and the rookie NBA players not charge me anything. He just got to the league. He's like, yo, yeah, just work out with me, bro. I'm with it. LeBron's like, yo, I can give you an hour a week for 6 weeks. Let's say that's a higher ticket. I'm going to be at the LeBron thing. I'm going to be willing to pay because you got to think about it. There's a lot of things that's going to come with that. I'm going to learn some wisdom from him. I'm in his presence, so I can learn from the omnipresence, right? I can learn from just being around. I can actually take listeners' tutelage. It's kind of like there was a thing, probably like last year. It was like, yo, you want $500,000? Would you take $500,000 cash, or would you pay Jay-Z for $500,000 for I have dinner with? You know what I'm saying? It's like what you value. But the rookie NBA player might have all day long, every day. He might be able to give me 4 hours a day. Yeah. But his knowledge base, his the things that he was able to accomplish are TBD. Or I can spend a higher ticket to spend time with someone that actually has the results that I want, and I can maximize that hour and possibly the community and possibly the modules. You know what I'm saying? Or since I'm building our relationship, I might be able to get some one-on-one time. You know what I'm saying, with the coach. Like my last coach, I paid him $25,000. Like I get the group time, but I get one-on-one times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, I mean, like, listen, like the credibility matters, and certainly like, getting coaching from LeBron would be, pretty cool. I'd love to get coached by the second greatest of all time.
If you take a picture or video with, let's say, LeBron James or any high-level coach that you might want to be around, it's going to change your business as well. Because
I don't know if that's true though. Like
it is true.
I see there's people that are just like they're showing the same selfie that they like. I went to see Gary Vee. I got a picture with Gary Vee. Now I'm just going to post that every 6 weeks, and like that's going to grow my business. I don't think that it works like that. Or maybe like, don't you feel like you're maybe like just standing next to someone after you've waited in line for 3 hours? Like, does that make your product that much more sellable?
It's marketing, man. At the end of the day, we're all being marketed to every single day. People have to understand the power of marketing. We're getting marketed. We're getting sold ever since we open our eyes. Our kids are selling us. Our girlfriends, boyfriends, wife are selling us. Everyone's asking us to do something. They're selling something. Now when you're in the marketplace, you're trying on Instagram, you're being sold. Twitter, you're being sold. You go to Target, you're being sold, bro. So at the end of the day, we know that to be true, right? And it's also called leverage, right? What is credit? Credit is leverage, right? You're leveraging OPM to get something. So now what I'm doing is I'm leveraging OPA, other people's audiences, or I'm leveraging OPI, other people's influence.
Yeah, like the halo.
That's going to give you the credibility. It's the same thing with podcast guesting. Let's say, and I know this too, your show's about to turn up. You're about to get 10K, 20K, 1,000 listeners and viewers, right? If I'm on your show, it's giving me a level of cachet. If you took a picture with PBD, right? And let's say you was on PBD's podcast, and now you have a podcast, you post a picture with PBD, and I want to get on your podcast because I see that association. That has a value to it. All you did was leverage his influence. You may have paid for it. You may have earned it, right? Or maybe you was just at the right place at the right time. All marketing is gonna work for you. Well, now you leverage that to allow other, because some people work off of that. They got to see you to believe that you're credible to want to even consider what that product and service that you might have.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I definitely think being on the podcast is more, to me, that's more of an investment than, and maybe this is y'all tell me, hit me up, mark@marksdevelopmentmedia.com.
Drop in the comments, bro.
Yeah. Drop in the comments, mark@marksdevelopmentmedia.com. I want to know what your thoughts on this. Are there too many high ticket closers out there that are overpromising and under-delivering? Who's right? Is Brendan right that, it's worth that money to get yourself next to them? Is it, because I get what you're saying. I just feel like there's this almost like an epidemic of people like saying, I just want to sell this for as much as possible.
Well, you don't
not worry about the delivery.
I don't think you want that person. I think you want to go to a high ticket, and again, not all coaches just have a high ticket. They might have a low ticket. You don't have to buy the high ticket. Buy the lower one first. Who cares? Go to the virtual conference. You're not, you don't have to buy the $100,000 offer. But I'm going to tell you right now, I know a $100,000 mastermind that I'm happy to get in, that one of our mutual friends, Travis, is in. And if you know, what's his name?
Drewby.
No, who does Digital Social Hour? My guy, Sean. Sean's in that too. Just you being in that network is going to turn you up, because the type of people that are in that network are very high level.
Like I agree with that. I think more I definitely agree with that. Like there's a difference.
That's a high ticket.
There's a difference in being in a $50,000 mastermind and a $50 mastermind.
That's a high ticket.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But you get the network there. Like I don't know. There was this expose that CoffeeZilla did on this high ticket closer. I can't remember his name right now. He was just bringing on interview after interview after interview. A guy's like, all right, I showed up for 500 and they charged me two. You know how it is. You're at an event and the guy's like, all right, everyone go in the back. You got to sign up for my $2,000 inner mastermind. Now that you're in that, sign up for my $5,000 platinum mastermind. Now it's kind of like you get someone, there's this thought, there's this belief, there's this feeling that I got to get someone, I got to fish on the hook, baby.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep reeling them in.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I don't dig. I want to say like, and maybe this is imposter syndrome.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying you want to spend time with a coach or an entrepreneur, a business owner is going to give you a result.
Yes.
Let's say if PVD does have these masterminds, you and I know, but let's say PVD had, I don't know, a high level offer. He might, I don't know. Let's say it's $30K.
He does. I think he charged like $40K for consulting.
Would you pay him $40K?
Not right now.
Why?
Because I don't know that I would be able to maximize a $40,000 one-on-one opportunity.
That's just belief where you're at. I see it differently. He wrote what's your next 5 moves? He has a multi-million-dollar, media business. He runs a team that has closers, right? And he puts right? And he has one of the fastest growing financial services businesses in the country. I'm paying him $40,000, bro. Because he knows something that I don't know, or he's executing on information that I have yet to either know about or execute on.
Sure.
So that $40,000 investment, and again, sometimes the $40,000 investment isn't just 40 off the rip. You might get a payment plan. It might be 4 payments of 10. It might be 8 payments of 5. I don't know what it is. But what it is you have his attention. You might get 2 hours for that time, or you might get 2 calls for that time. I'm recording that, taking notes. I'm running exactly what he's saying. If he's like, yo, okay, cool. What's your business? How you run your business? Because he does it. How you run your business? How you get money? What's going on?
Yeah, he's
going to analyze your joint. Bro, that's 40. I'm paying that. You know what that is? You write that off immediately because that's education. You can write that off. You can write off all your education from entrepreneurs, from coaches and programs. You can write that all off. At the end of the year, that's coming off tax.
Right.
You basically learn for free. I'm paying him that because I'm going to execute that. I'm going to run a play. In the worst case scenario, right, you can go and find other individuals that may have already previously done that, see what their results are before you make your investment, which I think is what a lot of people need to do.
Need to do that.
Yeah.
I will say this is part of the value of having a podcast.
Yeah.
Is because now I might
I've been talking about PVD a lot. Yo, PVD.
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
Come
on the podcast, homie. Come on the podcast.
But I think that that's, again, part of the value of having a podcast.
Yeah.
Now I can attract and bring on people, mentors like a Patrick Bet-David, and I might not have to pay the $40K because there's a better value exchange.
Yeah. You might pay less. He might answer a couple questions, but, something's different. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. I was at home. There's a business owner at home. He lives in LA. He tapped me and he was like, hey, Brendan, I'm about to do XYZ. Yo, what can when are you available this week? I want to take you to lunch and then, ask you some questions about my business. I'm not doing that, bro. Yeah. My time is way too valuable. Where's the exchange? You want me to go to lunch for $20, $30, right? And you want me to drip on you $250,000 worth of information that I paid an investor with all my time and just give that away for free. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I said, yo, at the very least, I got a community. It's $99 a month. You don't have to take none of my, even buy the book, $47 if I made one on the information. Use. That's way better. The person didn't do it. He's not serious. He just wanted to tap me, bro.
Right.
It's not worth my time. So if he was willing to pay my high ticket, I over-deliver in the high ticket. You're going to get multiple time with me. I'm going to encourage you, hold you accountable, and say, hey, these are the things you need to run. If you don't run them, I can't make you run them. Just like if I pay PVD 40, he can't make me run them. But he can give me XYZ amount of years of his experience and probably outline the framework of what I'm doing and then rearrange my thought process. He can probably read it now, and I can make those alterations ASAP.
I'm with what you're saying. I think that what I want to see is, people that have the talent and have the ability getting into those situations where they're with the right coach at the right time, not overpaying.
Yeah.
Because, okay, and here's what I was thinking. in general, I think that everyone's looking for that quick fix. I just had that one thing, then I'd be good.
Yep.
But I love the way that Alex Hormozy points this out. It's not about that one thing. It's about 50 different things.
Yeah.
And you might have 47 out of the 50, right? But once you get that, those last few missing pieces, then you're good. And I think that these high ticket coaches, consultants, they have a lot of the pieces, right? But you need, I think, personally, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you need to make sure that you're in the right place to capitalize.
I agree.
Which is why I probably wouldn't pay Patrick Bet-David $40K for some one-on-one time, right?
Yeah.
I feel like there's things that I know that I need to work on in the business where I can say, okay, now it's time.
Yeah, when you're ready, the coach will appear.
But I also think that, there's ways to get, like, I don't necessarily need to pay PBD $40K to get to that piece of advice. I was part of his mastermind. I am part of his mastermind, paying $500 a month. And I've gotten chances to talk with him twice. I've spent 20 minutes of one-on-one time with Patrick Bet-David asking questions. So I also think there's ways to get around that high ticket offer and be.
There's no right or wrong. And you can watch free content on YouTube all day. You can watch free content on social media all day. I'm not saying don't do that. You can still. The thing is, if the coach of entrepreneur is great at what they do or getting better at what they do, most likely they are giving away their competitors free content. And if you study their content, you're going to get game. I'm giving away game. That's what I'm saying. So what you may be paying for is a highly concentrated, expedited route. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was coming, I'm in Mark's Amazing Studio, right, in an undisclosed location. I could walk here. I could jog here. I could bike here, right? Like physical, petty bike. I can electric scooter here. I can motorcycle here. I can car here. I can Uber here, right?
Helicopter.
I can helicopter here. I can parachute here. You know what I'm saying? I can take the Lambo here. But they all bring me here. It's all about the person's journey. So if someone doesn't have the investment, or they may be a little afraid, or whatever the case may be, there's other ways still to get the result. That result may just take you a little longer, but it doesn't mean you have to pay, or that's the only option. You can literally spend hours on YouTube going through your favorite entrepreneur, influencer, or business coach content, maybe podcasts that they guested on, or maybe a podcast that they have, but maybe just original content that they create. You can take your notes. You can add a chat GPT, extension, and have that gather all of the information, and you can just, put it together. Just take your pieces. You can do that. It's just going to take some time.
There's definitely value in hiring a coach.
Yeah, you learn the time.
I've traditionally been anti-coach, as you could hear by my sentiments here today.
Hey, bro, I love you.
But I definitely recognize, like, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. I've scraped a lot of knees. I probably could have gotten to where I'm at faster with someone that had done it ahead of me. Anyway, fascinating conversation.
This has been great, bro.
Yeah, I think this was really interesting.
Yeah.
And I definitely like to hear the thoughts.
This ain't a sleeper. It's after hours, but we ain't sleeping.
No, hell no. So, Brendan, before I let you go here, where's the best place for me to find you?
Yeah, man. First of all, Mark, this has been amazing. I had a great time. Can't wait to come back. Can't wait to have you on my platform as well. But if you got any value from this, maybe you are an entrepreneur and you want to get on your first podcast or your next podcast, right? I would love to get you on a free podcast. Just text the word guest, 213-410-4920, 213-410-4920. Text the word guest. We'll get you on a free virtual podcast to allow you to share your story, your brand, help you get some more brand awareness, expand that digital footprint, stuff like that. But if you just want to check me out, it's at It's Brendan Boyd on all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I'm in a place right now in my life where I just want to give as much as possible. So if you already follow me, you already know the content's turning up, but I'm looking to turn it up a little bit more on the information and the educational side. So I'm gonna give you guys a lot of stuff for free that I paid close to $250,000 for and still invested. I'm gonna break a lot of secrets down, strategies, components. I'm gonna just give it away, and it's based on what Mark was saying as well. You could just piece it together, And that's one of the things I want to do.
I want a freebie right now.
Yeah.
If you had 10 seconds with yourself 10 years ago, what would you say?
If I had 10 seconds with myself 10 years ago, what I would tell me is to read every day, believe every day, and execute every day. That's probably what I would say to myself. And that's unrehearsed, unrecorded. No one's even asked me that. That's what I would do. I would read every day, believe every day, and execute every day.
Hey, what's the first book you would read?
The first book I would read would probably be Cash Flow Quadrant. You know, that's probably the first book I would read because I need to understand that there's more out there than just getting a job and being an employee. Most people, most people are going to get a job after college, and then they're not thinking that there's other ways that I can make money. The average person thinks that I have to exchange time. You know, like I want to buy this car that's going to be $1,000. I need to work.
No. I was walking past a retail establishment the other day. It was like Marshall. Actually, like it was someone smiling with 2 thumbs up, and they were like, "We pay $12.50 an hour." I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
it hurts my soul, man."
One of my coaches, shout out to Myron Golden, he talks about everything that you want costs the exact same amount it costs offer. So I would use my imagination, think about what I could create, and buy that thing. Then once I get the thing, what I still have the offer, so I can continue to make money. That's what I would do. But yeah.
All right, Brendan. Good to see you, man. Be well. Be blessed. Thanks for subscribing.
Yo, listen, watch this podcast. Share this podcast. If you're not an after hours entrepreneur, what are you doing, right? Real entrepreneurs happen after hours.
That's right, babe.